national team coach, accused of playing favourites with his home state players, steps up and slams the door on the rumours. Could this be the spark that ignites a Kangaroos revolution or just smoke without fire? Hit that subscribe button right now for explosive NRL insights. Aussie NRL Updates delivers the drama you crave. Kevin Walters, the proud Queenslander turned Kangaroos mastermind, has come out swinging against whispers of a Maroons bias in his squad picks for the upcoming Ashes showdown against England. Picture the scene. Walters, fresh from his Broncos duties, gathers the media at Sydney Airport, his eyes steely as he addresses the elephant in the room. No favouritism here, he declares, brushing off claims that his Queensland roots might tilt the scales toward players like Walsh or Tom Dearden. But let's rewind to how this storm brewed. It all started with the squad announcement, a star-studded lineup boasting 5 halves options, including Nathan Cleary, the Panthers' golden boy, and Mitchell Moses from the Eels. Walters, a legend of the game with 3 premierships under his belt, insists selections are based purely on form and fitness, not state loyalty. Yet, skeptics point to his Broncos connection, where Walsh dazzles as the electric fullback. The tour kicks off with a 10-day training camp in Manchester, where every tackle, every pass, will be scrutinised. Walters promises a merit-based battle, but insiders whisper about heated debates in the selection room. Will Cleary, recovering from shoulder woes, reclaim his throne, or could Dearden's state of origin heroics steal the spotlight? The tension mounts as the team boards the plane, leaving fans wondering if this denial is genuine or a clever deflection. And just when you think the halves puzzle is complicated enough, throw in Ethan Strange and Cameron Munster, each bringing their own flair and injury baggage. Walter's words echo, "We've got the best players in the world." But is that enough to silence the critics? As the Kangaroos jet off, the real test begins, not just against England, but within their own ranks. Hold on, because the first surprise might drop sooner than you think. Whispers of a shocker mission in the final 17. The Ashes aren't just about reclaiming glory, they're a proving ground for Walter's integrity. Fans are divided. Some hail him as a fair arbiter, others see red and blue flags. Remember the last time bias rumour swirled? It led to an infamous benching that changed the series. Could history repeat? Walter's rejection fuels the fire, turning a routine tour into a narrative of redemption and rivalry. But what if the bias isn't state-based, but something deeper? The plot thickens as training intensifies, with every session a potential game-changer. Stay tuned, NRL diehards. This is where legends are made or broken day as the selection saga unfolds. One name keeps popping up like a bad tackle. Walsh, the Bronco sensation whose speed and flair have NRL tongues wagging. But here's the twist. Walters, his club coach, must now decide if Walsh edges out Dylan Edwards for the fullback jersey, a call that could shatter alliances or forge new ones. Edwards, the unsung hero of Penrith's dynasty, brings reliability and grit, while Walsh offers that X-Factor magic. Imagine the locker room vibes. Walsh, fresh from a stellar season, struts in with confidence, only to face Edwards' quiet determination. Walters rejects any theory of predetermined picks, emphasizing the Manchester camp as a brutal audition. It's about who performs under pressure, he says, but fans aren't buying it entirely. The Queensland bias talk stems from Walters' history, coaching the Maroons to glory, now helming the national side. Yet, he points to balanced selections, like including NSW stars Cleary and Moses. But wait for the surprise. Reports suggest Walsh's recent form dip due to minor niggles might open the door for Edwards. Storytelling at its finest. Walters as the reluctant kingmaker, torn between loyalty and logic. The Ashes opener looms and leads, where the fullback choice could define the series. Cliffhanger alert. What if neither gets the nod, and a wild card like Latrell Mitchell swings in? No, that's not on the cards, but the uncertainty keeps us hooked. Midway through this rollercoaster, shout out to Aussie NRL Updates for breaking it all down, your go-to for unfiltered league lowdowns. Walter's denial isn't just words, it's a challenge to his players to prove their worth. As the team acclimates to English chill, secret scrimmages reveal cracks, or do they? One insider hints at a heated exchange between halves contenders, adding spice to the mix. Cleary, the composed general, versus Dearden's raw energy. It's a matchup made for drama. Walters watches, notebook in hand, rejecting external noise. But deep down, does the bias linger? The narrative builds, from squad reveal to tour departure. Each step amps the anticipation. Surprise element. Munster's fitness test results drop like a bomb, potentially reshaping the entire spine. This isn't just rugby, It's a chess game with human pieces. Fans speculate wildly on forums. Betting lines fluctuate. Walter's steadfast rejection becomes the rallying cry. But will it hold when push comes to shove? The Kangaroos' unity hangs in the balance, promising fireworks beyond the field. Nathan Cleary's shadow looms largest in this selection thriller, the Panthers' half whose pedigree screams Kangaroos royalty, yet Walter's rejection of biased theories puts his spot under the microscope like never before. Cleary, with his laser-guided kicks and unflappable demeanour, seems a shoo-in, but injuries have clouded his campaign. Enter the plot twist. Tom Dearden emerges as the dark horse, his Queensland grit earning Walter's nod in the squad. The coach's denial rings loud, no state favouritism, but critics dissect every choice. Storytelling weaves through, Cleary's journey from junior prodigy to NRL icon, now facing a national crossroads. Walters, drawing from his own playing days, knows the sting of selection snubs. The Manchester camp becomes a pressure cooker, where halves pairings are trialled in secrecy. Moses brings speed, Strange offers versatility, Munster adds menace, if fit. But here's the cliffhanger. What if Cleary's shoulder flares up mid-camp, forcing Walter's hand toward Dearden? Surprise strikes as early whispers suggest a Cleary-Dearden combo, blending NSW precision with Queensland passion. Walters laughs off the bias, citing data-driven decisions, but the narrative digs deeper. His Broncos' bias toward Walsh could influence spine synergy. As the team bonds over English pints, non-alcoholic, of course, underlying tensions simmer. Fans back home devour every update, debating endlessly. The Ashes aren't just tests, they're Walter's legacy builder. Rejection of the theory becomes his mantra, repeated in presses, but actions will speak louder. Imagine the moment, Final 17 announced, and a shock bench roll for a star. This keeps retention sky high, as each revelation peels another layer. In the heart of it all, Aussie NRL Updates keeps you ahead. Subscribe for more. The story arcs toward Leeds, where the first test will validate or vilify Walter's choices. But wait, a late injury report surfaces, throwing everything into chaos. Who's out? The suspense builds, mirroring the game's unpredictability. Walters stands firm, his rejection a shield against doubt. Yet, in quiet moments, does he ponder the what-ifs? The Kangaroos' quest for Ashes dominance hinges on these calls, turning players into protagonists in an epic tale of national pride. As the dust settles on Walter's bold rejection, the Kangaroos soar toward England with questions unanswered. Will bias creep in, or will merit prevail in the ultimate proving ground? The halves conundrum peaks with Cleary's experience clashing against emerging talents, while Walsh's flair battles Edward's steadiness. Walter's words echo as a promise, but the Manchester battles will reveal all. Surprise lurks in